This conference will now be recorded.
And hello, I would like to say good early morning. It is officially midnight, Friday, May 8th, if I'm not mistaken. And this is your friendly BSR. I'm actually going to try to do something a little different today because I want to share something with you. And the best way to do it, I felt like, was to record myself doing a type of a webinar and downloading and then uploading that to YouTube. So uh, instead of just looking at my beautiful face, which you all get to do week to week, we're going to go ahead and do something different. But of course, I have a few house rules that I'd like to go over like every week. So I was speaking with my fellow BSR individuals, and I have been reported to that, unfortunately, if you all do not start including me on the jobs that you are applying for, and so it can be, documented and recorded the appropriate way, then they're going to make me stop sharing job leads with you all. Uh, it's a tragic thing, but definitely something that we need to keep up with. So let's not get into that point, y'all. Let's do the stuff that I'm assigning to do, and let me know what's going on. Okay, we're all just here for the same goal, but if you're not letting us help you, and if we can't service you the best way we can service you, if we don't have valid information. So tonight I'm in my book room. Um, so you probably see books behind me, a shut door. We have a room that's just dedicated to books. So we're redoing it. But it's just a cool space to record. The light is brighter, it's not as yellow. Hope everybody's week is fantastic. We are in, I hear, phase 2 of reopening the state. How do y'all feel about that stuff? I'm a little nervous, but I trust the people who they have making decisions. So without further ado, I'm going to attempt to share my screen with everyone so I can show you this wonderful PowerPoint. And for the people who are listening in on the audio, the podcast, if you let me know, I will share this PowerPoint with you as well. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to go through this wonderful PowerPoint that I put together. So Hot Jobs and More. I've created this cute little navigational tool that would like help us from week to week. I think you can still see my face, but I'm going to be focused on transitioning through this and talking through it. So you I hope you enjoy it. Please, I'm actually going to leave the comments on YouTube so you can let me know how you feel about this process, if you like this better, or if you prefer if I do it the old way. So just let me know. Okay, so slide 1. What are we going to discuss today? We're going to talk about those key terms again. I found a new one in the job search, so I added a new one to the repertoire. So we're going to go over that. We're going to do a brief overview, and then we're going to do it this way. How to apply. There's a couple of links all over the place. I'm going to show them to you, show you the best practices of how to apply for a job. What are you applying for? I'm going to show you some essential duties of a couple of the hot jobs. Do I qualify? Company research. I have been drilling into you all for months about company research. So I have 2 slides dedicated to company research. And do you qualify? We're going to actually look at some of the requirements for the position and talk through that. Don't tell that lie. Oh my goodness. So this slide is going to be talking about lying on your resume or lying on your interview. And then travel consideration. The things that you want to think about. A couple articles in there to read. Things that you can think about as you travel to and from work. Okay, so just say it. Our first slide is gonna break down a little bit what I just said about what we're going to talk about. So key terms we as job developers use or employers use that may cause confusion. How to apply. What is the best way to apply for this position? Who do you email? Do they have an online application? Does that position come with a question assessment? So question assessment, I forgot to add the question assessment phrase to our terms. I will add it. It will be there for next week's job club. But basically, if you've ever applied for a retail job, like a Target or uh, TJ Maxx or Jewel or any of those type of positions, there is usually a 50 to 75 questionnaire where they ask you a whole bunch of the same questions over and over again, but worded differently. Um, so question number 3 will say, if you see coworkers arguing, what would you do? And then question number 13 will say something like, how do you handle conflict between two coworkers? So it's the same question, but kind of flipped around just to see if your thought process is the same. So I'm actually going to do a whole training on that because I have taken myself upwards to 40 of those assessments at different times, at different stages of years. So some in the early 2000s, some in the middle, some now. And I've taken them several different companies, and they're all pretty much the same. And I have some tips and tricks on how to answer those questions the best way so you will always pass those assessments. What are the essential duties? What are you applying for? Uh, do I qualify? Company research. Analyzing the qualifications, things that are not always what they seem. Look the company up. Is it for you? Don't tell that lie. Going over stretching the truth and flat out being dishonest. Travel consideration, what that actually looks like. Okay, so we're going to cover a couple of things with this one. So this is actually a job order that was in the hot jobs. I also used this because it had a new concept on it, and I wanted to go over that. So we're going to talk about the position first. So PACE is actually hiring for mechanic, mechanic helper, servicer, utility person, and bodyman. So servicer and bodyman are two jobs that I would actually have to look up the essential duties if you're interested in learning about them. If they are the same as what they used to be, a servicer is somebody who actually like cleans the buses. They service them by cleaning them and making sure that there's no like trash and things like that. A bodyman is somebody who helps maintain the outer body, so like a mechanic for the body. If the bus have dents and other things like that, they know how to repair them properly. But we're also going to look at this area down here. So so when you go here, you have to go here first, and then when you click that and you apply for the position, there's an email at the bottom, Avila, which is Hugo Avila. He works at our North Riverside location. He wants you to email him at havila at l.sericoheadquarters.hq, which stands for headquarters.com. If you decide to do that, when you email Mr. Avila, please CC me so I know. Yes? And when you email him, you're also going to include that you come from LVC, the Little Village location. Okay? Now, here's the part that I wanted to discuss. With your resume, and they want you to add a 2 to 3 sentence statement about why you deserve to be considered for this position. So I want everybody to not like trip out like, oh no, I gotta write a statement. So 2 to 3 good sentences is a half of a paragraph, right? Don't forget a sentence is a complete is it has a main idea and then supporting details to make that idea valid. Okay, so you want to think of your 2 to 3 sentence statement as your written elevator pitch. Do you remember elevator pitch that you took in JRT? Or maybe you took it, or maybe just Moises just taught it. So an elevator pitch or elevator speech is a 10 to 15 second speech that you get to say. So, for example, pretend that you actually wind up on an elevator with the CEO of the company you've always wanted to work for. You have 10 to 15 seconds to pitch who you are to this person and for them to decide if they're going to hire you. And an elevator ride can go anywhere from 10 to a minute and a half, depending on how tall the building is, but they're looking there from one floor to the next. So 10 to 15 seconds. It describes your most valuable skills for that particular position that you're applying for. So if you're applying for a mechanic position, you don't want to put how much you love to cook. Okay? So if you need some help putting this together, please don't hesitate to email me. Okay, employer research one. So I chose a very popular company. I chose Amazon.com. Okay, I actually went on Amazon and I took a screenshot. This is their homepage. This is what their homepage looks like. And when you're on their homepage, you get to see like the stuff that entices the customer. If you scroll all the way down to their homepage, you have this area right here in the middle. You get to check your orders, your list, your gifts, browsing history. You get to look at your recommendations, Amazon Fresh, gift cards, your account, sale on Amazon, go to desktop site. But then you have this here called customer service. When you click customer service, it takes you to a whole nother page. Because of COVID though, their customer service interface is not as um, accessible as it usually is. It's changed a lot because of COVID. I'm a Amazon Prime member, so I'm always in their customer service. So what I did was, but on a regular, let me say this, customer service is a good place to start because in customer service area, you get the About Us tab. Um, and there are always other things that you can research to figure out things about the company. Okay. Down here we have conditions of use, privacy notice. So this is all the legalities of the company that you can always research and find out what they are about. Now, what I did second was I went to Google and I put in Amazon corporate, and a lot of information popped up. But I wanted to go ahead and choose one image that will kind of cover a little bit of what you want to see. So here it says Amazon.com launched in 1995. How many people knew that Amazon started in 1995? I didn't know that. I was only 10 years old in 1995, so I didn't know that. Excuse me. It says it launched in 95 from a garage just outside of Seattle. And the headquarters is in Seattle, Washington. So if you're sitting in an interview and the employer asks you, what do you know about my company? Well, I knew that it was launched in 1995 out of a garage, no less, and I think that's awesome. And they have over 45,000 employees, which you see right here, and the headquarters is in Seattle, Washington. Boom, that's your company's research, okay? So it's something just that simple. I have another example because I want to touch on something. Okay, so my second research was on the Advocate Healthcare Network. I am an avid fan of Advocate. That's where I go for all my healthcare needs. And so that was why it came up in my head. Now, I went straight to Google first this time. And I went Advocate Corporate Office. If you look right here, you will see that this little part is outlined in purple, which lets me know that their headquarters is located in Downers Grove, Illinois. Did you know that? Okay. And then I was able to, if you scroll down on Google, the first thing you see is a corporate overview. The corporate overview gives you a navigational tool of all the things that you can look up. Media contact, media policy and release of patient information, fact sheets. This is HIPAA. HIPAA is basically the law for the medical field. Okay. Corporate overview, fact sheets, executive profiles. You can go here and learn about all the executives that work in Advocate. Uh, Annual reports. And look right here, founded in 1906. Now, one of the questions that I asked on the employer researched when we talked about it in the first earlier slides, thinking about if a company is right for you. Now, if we look at the history right here, in January 1995, a lot of 95 stuff is happening. Evangelical Health System Corporation and Lutheran General Health Systems merged to create Advocate Healthcare. Now, why is that important? Maybe you have a different faith, or maybe you don't have a faith at all. You don't believe in anything, and maybe this would offend you. So it would be good to know if the company you're trying to work for has a value system that matches, or maybe not, even if it doesn't matches, or one that you can work with, or one that you agree with. This information is good to know. Um, so this is one of the reasons that I tell you, research your company. Research your company. If your employer sits you down at Advocate and says, "Tell me something about my company," or tell me something about Advocate. Well, in 1995, the Evangelical Health System and the Lutheran General Health System combined to make Advocate. I thought that was so amazing. Or, I was shocked to hear that. You can go to the executive profile. Like, I was reading about the executive on the profile by the name of blah, blah, blah. And it just shows that you're interested in the job in which you're applying. Okay? I can't stress this enough. Next slide. Here we are for our key terms. We went over a few: virtual meeting, online learning, remote learning, telephone interviews, job offer, and the new term for the week is BOE. If you are on a job order and you see BOE, that means based on experience. So usually you will see this in the salary section where it says how much you get paid, and you'll either get a number, it'll tell you how much you're going to get paid, or it'll have BOE based on experience. Okay, any of these terms you all want to go off in depth, let me know. And if you all want this slide for yourself, let me know too, and I will be glad to send it over to you. Don't tell that lie. I can't express how harmful it is to your career, no matter what that career is, if you are found in the door to be a liar. I know it sounds harsh, but as some of the great people have said, the truth can hurt. Okay? I found a little funny cartoon. It says, everything on your resume is true, right? And he's sitting here with his nose growing, because if you know the old story of Pinocchio, every time he told a lie, his nose would grow. So I thought that was pretty cute. Now, I have an article here right below the arrow is pointing to it that lets you go and read an article called the Top 9 Lies on the Resume. So for your assignment this week, I would like everybody to read this article and then come back and talk about one of the lies that you have done, because we've all lied on our resume. So I want to know which ones you've done, and how, now that you've read this article, now that you understand a little bit different, what are you going to do to fix it? Okay? Next slide. Commuting to work. So getting to and from work, the time frame that it takes is something that you should definitely consider. So I live in Gage Park, right off of 59th Street and Western Avenue, and I take public transportation. So the to and from work journey in the morning, it can take 45 minutes to an hour. No, 35 minutes to 45 minutes in the morning, and then after work is 45 minutes to an hour. So if we just round up, I'm looking at travel 2 hours round trip every day to get to and from work. Between an hour and a half and 2 hours every day to get to and from work. Now, you want to add the fact that, excuse me, you want to add the fact that if you are full-time or part-time, right? For me, I am a full-time worker. So that means that I work 40 hours every week. So we're going to add 2 hours a day of travel to and from work, 5 days a week. So that's 2 times 5 is 10. So we're looking at 10 hours of travel time alone every week, plus the 40 hours that I work at the office a week. And if you combine that together, you're looking at 50 hours of work, because commuting is work, especially when you take the bus. If you are a City of Chicago resident, Riding our bus system can be fairly stressful or it cannot be stressful. But either way, getting up, moving, standing and waiting, cold, hot, it doesn't matter. I consider it work, part of my work. So I have to know off bat that every week I can look to spend 50 hours of working, just work. I'm not talking about homework. I'm not talking about cooking, cleaning, having to go to the store, having to go to doctor's appointments. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm talking about just working 50 hours. So, with that being said, you really want to consider how much time you're spending to get to and from work. Now, if you're on public transportation like myself, and let's say that you live in Inglewood, right? Let's say you live on 67th and Ashland, and you have to come to Central State Fair. I'm sure that's between an hour and a half commute getting there, and then an hour and a half getting home. So you're looking at between 2 to 3 hours in addition to how long you have to be at Sarah, which is part time. So that's 20 hours a week. Add that up, that's how much time you're actually working. But you don't get paid for your commute. So I really want you to start thinking about the commuting process when you are looking for employment. If you live in Garfield, which is a West Side community, then do you really want to work in Tinley Park? Tinley Park is a southern suburb. You're looking at about an hour and a half, 45 if you drive, 45 minutes to an hour driving, but an hour and a half to maybe 2 hours commuting on the bus. Is it something that's worth it? Do you have responsibilities at home? Do you have little ones? Do you have the time to commit that way? Is the pay enough? If you look at what they're paying you versus what you're receiving versus the time that you spend getting to work, doing the work, and getting home, are you getting enough rest? Are you having time to eat a healthy meal? Can you cook for yourself? Or do you have to eat out all the time because you just don't have time? So these are all the things that I want you all to start considering when looking for employment. Commuting to and from work. Okay. And I also put a cute little article in there about that as well. Now, the author of this article is from the UK, the United Kingdom, so that the language might be a little different about how the commute works. But I really felt it was a good article, and I wanted you all to check it out. The photo on the right you see is a photo I took, but I chose it because it had cars in the street, and it kind of looks like people are traveling. So, next slide. Okay, excuse me. Oh, my voice is drying out. Okay, so do I qualify slash what type of work am I doing? I chose this job order in the hot job packet because I wanted to talk about some of the actual duties of a U.S. Border Patrolman or patrol person. Um, they are hiring, so you can actually, if you want, I'll email this slide to you, and you can actually use the QR code on your phone reader to actually look at it, or you can go to their website. Um, so I know a lot of people when they hear Border Patrol, they they think ICE and people rounding up illegal people very harshly and throwing them away. But that's not. I'm not saying that that's not what they do, but that's not all they do. And some of the duties include um, screening those entering and leaving the country, seizing illegal shipments, preventing entry of terrorist weapons, traffic control, and covert surveillance. Um, it's a dangerous line of work. So for every horrible thing you've heard about ICE or Border Patrol, it's about 50 things that they do wonderful that you don't hear about. They stop thousands of pounds of drugs from getting into our country. They stop people with weapons from getting into the country. Do they all stop them all? No. But I feel like we would have a lot more if we didn't have a Border Patrol. So, with that being said, if you look at these duties and you look at the travel and you look at the qualifications, if you feel like this is something that you are interested in doing, I recommend that you do it because there's nothing wrong with helping protect our border. Um, yes. Next slide. Okay, so we're gonna get right into the hot jobs. I like to highlight a few hot jobs, and we are running out of time. I try to keep these under 45 minutes. Uh, so we're gonna go through this a little bit quick. So Chicago Commons Further is hiring. They're looking for caring people to do home care aids to mostly senior citizens. Now you have to remember that during COVID, um, everybody is at risk for getting COVID, but it's been hitting our seniors a lot harder. So this is a job that you really have to be into to want to do, because I don't want you to feel like you're putting yourself in danger just because you need a job. Okay. So the qualifications for this job, remember, let's see if we're qualified. You have to be 18 or older, have a high school diploma or GED, successfully pass a criminal background check, and bilingual is a plus. So they're looking for English and Spanish bilingual or Polish and English bilingual. So I know some of you all that are probably watching this have those qualifications. We're always super excited to get people in this field. You do not have to have any type of credentialing, no CNA, medical assistant, or anything like that. You're basically helping them do their day-to-day things, giving them their food trays, helping them with daily activities, helping them put on their shirts if they need it or whatever, just giving them conversation, playing games with them. So, yeah, if you want to apply for that, please do. The one in the middle, we have, it's really far. It's in Hoskins, Illinois. Um, this job is not accessible by public transportation. It says it right here. Not accessible by public transportation. But it's a machine operator. I know some of my people have machine operator licenses. And if you have access to a vehicle, please apply for this. There is you have to send your resume to Ms. Avila again and let me know, because you have to CC me in it. Okay. Home care agency, so something similar to Chicago Commons. The main office is located on the northwest side in East Humboldt Park, on Armitage Avenue. Same qualifications. They have health care, including dental and vision, paid time off, paid holidays, training, and education. Okay, so these are some of the hot jobs that I like to highlight. Um, American Access Casualty Company. They are an insurance company, and they are looking for a customer service rep. And the pay is $14 to $15 an hour. Um, the application information is on the lower right. They have some pretty good benefits. They want you to have 3+ years of experience as a customer service rep, and every single one of you all have that. When you interact with people, you are interacting with a potential customer of some potential business, and if you are nice to people, I think you could qualify for this. The problem with this one is it's also very far. It's down in Downers Grove. Okay, so if you have a car, maybe, but public transportation would definitely be a barrier. Okay, so that is all. I really appreciate you all listening to the PowerPoint. I hope this format is better than what I'm usually doing, where I'm always just sitting talking. Now I'm standing talking. Ha ha ha. I'm really excited about this possibility of doing something a little bit different. And so I want to say that I hope everybody's having a fantabulous week. I want to say I hope everybody's having a fantabulous week, and that I will be available for conversation, questions, from probably about 11 a.m. until 3. So if you have any questions about what you just watched, you have any questions about anything on the PowerPoint, if you have any questions in general, please don't hesitate to contact me. Remember, my email is serbsr2020@gmail.com, and message me in the classroom, message me on Facebook, wherever you find me on the Remind page. If you join, you need to talk to me and let me know. I'm really excited about all these new platforms and all these new things I'm going to get a chance to teach you all when we get back to the office, so you can put them on your resumes. Okay, and I'm going to end it. Thank you for coming by.